It's time for your Tackle HD fishing report for Lake of the Ozarks. Here's Casey Scanlon with the latest.
Hey everyone, Casey Scanlon here, bringing you another Tackle HD fishing report for Lake of the Ozarks. It's the end of April. The water level is still low, but starting to creep up. Water temps are in the upper 50s. We've had some cold mornings. We've had some good days mixed in with some bad days. You know, one day it's beautiful, and the next day it's kind of cold and windy. So water temperature still hasn't got up into the 60s yet, where it usually is about this time of year, but the fish have moved up on the bank and they're spawning. So there's a lot of fish up there in the past week and a half or so have made a move to the bank. Both bass and crappie are up there, and there's a lot of fish spawning and thinking about spawning. So, fishing shallow has been the deal for me for both of those. We've had several guide trips this week. They've all been pretty good, and I've been able to crappie fish a couple times while we've been out there, and crappie fishing's great as well. So doing a little bit of sight fishing for both of them, where I'm visibly looking for the bass, looking for the crappie. You know, they make beds up there and super shallow water in the backs of these coves, and you know, there'll be bright white spots. Sometimes there'll be a dark spot on the bottom, and a lot of times you can visibly see those fish, whether it's a crappie or a bass. You'll see those fish grouped up together on those beds, and you can throw at them with a variety of soft plastic lures typically and catch those fish. So we'll start with bass fishing. Bass fishing's been good. Like I said, shallow. Fish are thinking about spawning. They want to be shallow. This is a big lake, so they're going to continue to spawn for quite a while, but right now, a lot of the fish that we're focusing on, we're using the jig. The Pro Finesse jig has been really good, just with the small craw trailer, and then throwing the Pro jig, 1/2 ounce Pro jig. That's my favorite. You can fish a variety of depths with it. You can drag it out a little deeper. It's just really efficient underneath the docks. You can skip it really well. And I'm throwing that with a T-craw in the back, Tackle HD T-craw, something with a little bit more action. Getting a few bites on that, and they're usually big ones. So I like to try to throw the 1/2 ounce jig if I can. Another bait that's been working well is a swim bait, whether you're throwing a big swim bait or just a regular one. On all these guide trips, we've been throwing just the 4-inch, so a little bit bigger Tackle HD swimmer on there with a 3/16 ounce weight, because we're throwing it fairly shallow. We're just throwing it out there next to boat docks towards the bank and reeling it in. Getting a lot of bites that way, and some really good ones. It's a good way to cover water until you get around them, and then you can just start focusing more on the shallow bite. The shallow bite for us has been pitching around the boat docks and any visible cover with these jigs. Been using anything from a 5/16 or 7/16 ounce finesse jig, and we've actually thrown up to a 3/4 ounce jig just to kind of get a reaction out of them next to these docks and in shallow water. But shallow cover is the deal, whether it's a lay down piece of wood, whether it's a brush pile, whether it's a pylon on a dock, a tire laying on the bottom. They want to be shallow, and they want to make their beds next to some cover. So just look for that. Topwater bite. Haven't got a chance to do it a whole lot, but this is a great topwater lake. You know it's happening. The worldwide buzzer is one of my favorites this time of year during the spawn and post-spawn. Those fish love a buzz bait. I'm going to throw a 1/2 ounce or a 3/8 ounce buzz bait most of the time. I kind of like a white color this time of year, but white or black for me, that's going to put a lot of fish in the boat. And then I'm trying to find it here, but it's lost. But it's the Tackle HD Sticks worm. Okay, just a regular, worm. Green pumpkin has been my favorite color. We've been throwing some bubble gum, some chartreuse. This is the time of year that you can get away with a lot of different colors. And sometimes these brighter colors really produce some more bites. So Tackle HD Sticks worms, they come in big packs. You get 25 in a pack, and it's a really, really good worm. So we've been throwing that weightless. You can throw it on a shaky head. We've been catching some fish like that, some good ones. Same places we've been throwing the jig. And like I said, not all these fish spawn at once. So, don't be afraid to back out a little bit if you're not seeing them up shallow. Back out a little bit on these secondary points. out in front of the spawning coves a little bit, drag your jigs, your shaky heads, stuff like that, just a little bit deeper. I feel like a lot of these fish are just 10 foot and shallower right now. You can drag around kind of off the bank with these shaky heads and jigs and catch a lot of fish, but with that Styx worm, weightless has been my favorite way to catch them, whether I'm seeing that fish on a bed or they're swimming around on the backsides of boat docks. You can really put that bait, like especially if you put it on a spinning rod and some braid, some Bass Pro Shops braid with a 10-pound leader of Bass Pro Shops 100% fluorocarbon line. You can just throw that thing behind all the cables and catch a lot of fish back there. They're less pressured, and that's where they like to be this time of year. They feel safe back there. So those shallow baits are really working right now. You can still throw the spinner bait around on a windy day, and if you get around some dirtier water. But for the most part, I fished the lower 40 miles of the lake. So that's a big section of water, but the water's pretty clear, whether you're fishing at the 40-mile marker or whether you're up clear at the dam, you can sight fish. You can see those fish swimming up shallow, and it's a lot of fun out there. The other bite has been the crappies. And of course, the money milk is my favorite. 2-inch baby shad. Electric chicken is another good one. 16th ounce weight. Throwing it out there visibly, seeing a lot of the fish swim off their beds and eat it. The beds for the crappie will be kind of clustered together. There'll be a lot of them close by, but the boat docks have been good. Shallow brush piles have been good, but there's still some fish on some of those deeper docks, things like that. Throwing a 16th ounce, you could even throw lighter since the fish are up shallow. They want a slow presentation. Throwing the jig underneath the bobber, and also when they get real finicky, you can't beat a minnow. But right now, overall, the fishing at the Ozarks is fantastic. There's a lot of bites to be had, whether you're crappie fishing or bass fishing, and it's just an awesome time to be out on the water. This is a fantastic lake and one of my favorite times to be fishing it. So good luck to all of you guys out there. Hope you guys catch a big one.
Bounce.